Point being, the word al-uluhiyya, and that's just one example. Other scholars from those early centuries in their writings mentioned al-uluhiyya, al-rububiyya, al-asma'u wa-sifat. So this is something established, something known, something established. An example sometimes we used to mention before is like when you write a letter in English. You remember in GCSE when they teach you how to write a letter. So they say a basic letter, you have your opening paragraph, which is basically like your introduction into your letter, your greetings and introduction into your letter. Then you have the main section in the middle, the main body, which is the core of what your letter's about, what your issue is, what you want to talk about. And then you have at the bottom of your letter the final paragraph, which is your conclusions and what you want to do now, what you want to happen now, some conclusion at the end. Your basic build-up of a letter. Your intro, your main body, and your conclusion. That's how you formulate a letter. But when you write a letter, you want to write to some company now, you want to write to somewhere, you're not going to write in your letter at the beginning brackets introduction, and then write your introduction. Then you're not going to write in the next part main body, and then write what your main issue is. And then you're not going to write at the bottom in brackets conclusion, and then write what it is and send it like that, are you? You don't write those titles in. You don't write those titles in. But when you examine a letter and you see those 3 paragraphs and they teach you in English, they say, okay, as a question on the exams, identify and break down how this letter works. So you say, okay, this opening paragraph where he talks about X, Y, and Z, that's his introduction. And from that point to this point of the discussion, from his words X, Y, and Z to his word X, Y, and Z, that's the main body. And this final section is the conclusion. You've identified those 3 parts to the letter. Was that ever written in the actual letter? This is my introduction, X, Y, and Z. This is now my main body of the letter. Was it ever there? But through analysis of the letter, you can see it does not exit from that structure. That's what it's there. That's how it is. Just as a general example to understand. You can't use the argument of saying, but it doesn't say in the Quran, this ayah is now about rububiyyah, and this ayah is now about uluhiyyah. It doesn't say that in the Quran. But when you analyze and you inspect and you investigate, then it becomes clear, as we've just given those examples from Al-Fatiha and from An-Nas, that this is talking about al-rububiyyah, and this ayah is about al-uluhiyyah, and this ayah is about the names and attributes of Allah. And you go through the whole Quran and you discover that all of the Quran, the Tawheed mentioned within it, falls into those aspects. 3 basic aspects that are mentioned by the scholars: al-rububiyyah, al-uluhiyyah, and al-asma'u wa-sifat.